how to wake up. You'll hear these terms getting thrown around a lot. You'll hear these terms getting thrown around a lot in spiritual communities. Waking up, being conscious, escape the matrix. What do all these things mean, despite the fact that they're somewhat condescending to normal people? What does it actually mean to wake up? What does it mean to be asleep in spiritual terms? That's the topic of today's video. Hi, my name is Jack and I started this YouTube channel because I like talking about ideas and sharing things. I like spirituality, but I don't like how pretentious most spiritual people can be. So I thought I would, bridge the gap between these esoteric concepts and the quote-unquote normal world, because these things have helped me a lot in my life. I went from anxious, depressed, all the bad stuff to, most of the time having control of my emotions and feeling like I'm on an upward trajectory in life. So yeah. And how to wake up. What the fuck does it mean to be awake? And I'm talking about when your alarm clock goes off in the morning at 5 a.m. and bing, 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 and you come out into the world of the waking world. I'm not talking about that kind of waking up. I'm talking about this kind of, spiritual, wispy, ethereal kind of waking up that people always talk about. Well, I guess my understanding of it is that if you believe what the spiritual gurus are saying, we all come from this place of complete unity, wholeness, connection to God before we're born. We're then born into this world, okay? We were somewhere before we were born, so something had to have been happening, I think. So we're born into this world, and we still have this feeling of wholeness when we're kids. That's why, they say you have to be like children to enter the kingdom of heaven, because kids have it. And then as they get older, usually around 4 years old, the ego starts to develop. And what the ego is raw separation. It is the idea that you exist as a personality structure, that there is you here and your friend over there, that I'm here and my mum's there, that this is my chocolate and that's your chair. It's this idea of separation, which didn't exist from where you came from before and didn't exist when you were a kid. And then through the ego, which is lack and separation, lack and fear, comes all the negative things in life. Because when we were part of the whole cannot possibly feel lack, because the whole is everything. There is nothing to lack. And when we were part of the whole, we cannot possibly feel anything but love, because the whole, God, whatever you want to call it, is love, according to spiritual traditions and according to some of my experiences on ayahuasca, although sometimes it's also fucking hell. So when the ego comes and creates the separation between us and everything else, that's where all the negative emotions come. Does that make sense? Because when we are connected, we feel amazing. Think about the times when you are, having sex with someone you love, when you're in a group of friends and everyone's laughing at a joke that was just had, when you're in a concert of your favourite band and everyone in the crowd is singing the encore and you get, shivers running down your spine, their hair starts rising off your arms. That is an experience of connection. That's what we're all looking for. So the separation that happens when we get the ego is incredibly traumatic for us. Add to that all the societal, the parental, the peer programming, pressure, beliefs that get programmed into our head, and all the attachments that get programmed into us by the matrix about what you need in order to be happy. I need to be beautiful in order to be happy. I need to fucking make loads of money. I need to have a nice car. I need to live in this thing. I need to travel. I need to have experiences. I need to read all these books. I need to have a hot bird. And then we end up living our life under this fog of conditioning, attachments, limiting beliefs, this thing that clouds our mind and depresses us. It presses us down. It makes us think that we're lesser than. It makes us forget how incredible we felt when we were kids. It gives us anxiety. It gives us depression, because all is actually well and we're living a life where all is not well. It's like we were lying on the ground and everything was beautiful and we were looking at the trees, and then someone's come with a spade and they've started digging and chucking dirt on top of us. And then all of a sudden we can't see anymore. We can't see the trees, we can't see the birds, we can't hear anything. We're just covered under this layer of shit. And then we start to think that that is the experience of the world. We start to think that that's what it means to be a human being. That is what it means to be asleep. It's to be covered under this layer of dirt, of shit, which we call conditioning, which we would call limiting beliefs, which we call anxieties, which we call unconscious programs that are running in your brain. so that you cannot understand, or so that you cannot perceive the reality for the miraculous, beautiful place that it actually is. That's what it means to be asleep. So waking up, in essence, is rubbing the dirt from your eyes, is looking up at the stars and realising how fucking beautiful the world is. It is realising that all is well, despite the fact that Gaza exists, despite the fact that there's all this crap happening in the Middle East and in Ukraine. It's recognising that everything is perfect and that the world is a beautiful, miraculous place which is out to help you, not out to get you. Waking up is the process of dissolving the ego so that we no longer feel separate, so that when I look into the eyes of another human being, I don't see Jamie there and Jack here, Adam there and Jack here. I see one and the same. I have that feeling of complete connection and community, camaraderie that you get in a crowd full of people all singing your favourite tune to your favourite band in a concert, and you can sustain that feeling 24/7 so that you feel part of nature, so you feel part of a community, so you feel like a node as part of the whole, rather than this individual separate person that has to figure everything out on their own. And so the first way to wake up is to become unconscious, become conscious of the unconscious in your life. What does that mean? That means that to be aware, to become the observer of your every action, your every thought, your every emotion, your every behaviour, everything that you do in your life, so there's not a single thing which slips through the net of your awareness or consciousness, so that you start to understand how you're behaving and you can start to piece together and you realise, I'm reacting in this moment. I'm not actually making a conscious decision to get angry. I'm reacting out of some trigger that this person, by doing the thing, has triggered in me, and then anger comes out. And so you start to sort of whittle down, filter all these different reactions that you have from when you were a child or when you were a teenager, and then you start to just be you, so that every action you do is conscious. Another part of the process is to become embodied. Now, this is a word that a lot of spiritual people throw around all the time, embodiment, and it kind of means nothing to when you hear it the first time, right? But what it means is that we're all living in our fucking minds all the time. All your energy, you've got, let's say 100% energy that should be all over your body, but instead you've got 100% of energy in your fucking head. So you've got no idea what's going on in your knees, your ankles, and your wee toe, when you should. Okay, so you got all this energy just going la, 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 ruining your life, living in the future, living in the past. And so embodiment is to bring that down and to have a more complete energetic system where you're constantly aware of everything that's happening in your body, to bring the energy down, reduces the anxiety, reduces the depression, because all these things are just getting fucking lost in your head. Brings it down so you're experiencing the world through your senses again, not through the imaginary fucking illusion picture that you're painting in your head about what's happening. You're just there and present with what's happening around you. You're experiencing it coming in your ears and your eyes and whatnot. I pointed to the eyes first and I said ears, but we'll just run with it. And a good way to do this, if you have no idea to do it, is Rage Heart is a very good one, and the Open Focus Brain. 2 tips. The third part of waking up is to be present, is to be here now. Most of us live in our minds because we have a lot of negative emotions that are trapped and stuck in our body, and we don't like to feel negative emotions. We don't like to experience negative sensations in our body. So the first way we escape from them before we fucking, hit the gym or watch YouTube or eat shit food or fucking get addicted to cocaine, is we escape into the future in our mind, or we escape into the past. Future is anxiety. What if this happens? What if that happens? Oh no, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And depression is when you look back in the past and you say, I shouldn't have said that thing. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Oh, last time I did this. I'm never going to be able to make it because I've never made it in the past. If we can just be here now and be present with whatever's happening physically and in the external environment, it helps us to wake up and just be aware of what's around us, And I'm the fucking worst for this. I've got an OCD brain, so I'm walking down the street and I'm like, right, be present, and I need to. It's like trying to fucking tame a wild stallion or something like that. It's just, whoosh, and then 30 seconds later, I'm like, bring it back, and it's, whoosh, 30 seconds later, I'm bringing it back. Like, the mind is so fucking powerful, it's insane. But this is part of the process, and of course, and you might as well learn how to be present, because you're only ever doing what you're doing at present. So you might as well be fucking doing it with all your attention, don't you think? The fourth part of waking up, if that is even such a thing, the fourth point I'll mention is to get beyond concepts and dogma. Most of us think that we need to read these books or listen to these teachers or read the Bhagavad Gita or read the Bible or go to church or fucking do this or fucking do that. That's not how it works. That is you learning and reading someone else's opinion of the truth. What you need to do is to go on your own personal journey of acquiring the truth, and that may take you through books or through different practices or through different tools. But it's not about the tool. It's not about the symbols, i.e., the church. It's not about the fucking books, i.e., the Bible. It's about this own personal journey that you have within yourself in order to find that feeling of, let's say unconditional love, joy, bliss. It's a personal thing and no one else can give you that. So this idea that, you just go and you join a culture and you're like, I'm going to become a fucking Hare Krishna. And then you go and you buy all the clothes and you start singing all the songs. That's never going to work because you're looking for a how-to. You're just copying what other people are doing. That's not what it is. It's a personal journey that has no costume, has no book, has no teacher, has no guru. Yes, there are people who can help nudge you along the way, but at the end of the day, it is a personal journey. So no dogmas and no concepts about how it all is. That's why books like the Tao Te Ching are so cryptic, because no one can tell you what it is. They have to just kind of point towards it with words in order to resonate with you. And then if maybe it hits you, if you're in the right place in your life, inside, and you're like, oosh, and you feel the truth and you start crying. I've had moments where I've read stuff like the Tao Te Ching where tears start coming out of my eyes. Whereas I read it when I was 14, I was like, what is this bish? And that's because I have discovered my own process of finding the truth, and I've gotten closer to it in the preceding years. And one of the last things we're going to mention about waking up is this idea of acceptance of what is. Deliverance, surrender, acceptance. All these words are rife within the spiritual community, and that's because it is basically acceptance of what is. Because what is happening is happening. So you might as well accept it, because that's the best way for you to manage it and overcome it and turn it into strength. So for me, for example, I've been dealing with back pain for 2.5 years that have stopped me really doing any form of exercise other than walking. And for the first year, I was battling it, I was fighting it, I was resisting it, was all this tension. And then after a while, I kind of learned to just be like, fuck it, I don't even care, it's fine, I'm moving on with my life, I'm not exercising, cool. I can't do this and that, cool. I'm not going to go to the gym and get massive muscles at this chapter of my life, fine. And then I've found this form of happiness that exists completely outside of what's happening in my external environment. And that gives you some amount of power, because you're like, okay, I feel happier now with all these bad things happening to me than I ever did in the past. And that's true power when you start tapping into that. So that's another part of waking up. And there's just some ideas. I'd heard this concept of waking up and I never really fully understood what it meant. So there you go. I hope that, changes the needle just a tiny little bit on your understanding of reality. If it does, smash the like button, hit the subscribe, say hello, send me a message, come for a pint in Glasgow or Columbia, which is where I'm currently situated, and I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you.